heard about, Paris looking for a coach. Ended up talking to Paris, president, and showing my willingness to come to Paris and to be the head coach. It was not that easy, but took some time, a couple of video calls, a meet in person, and then finally, they offered me to be the head coach, which is a great pleasure for me to be here and dream to coach in the EuroLeague and start my, coaching career in the EuroLeague.
You saw the opportunity and you took it. That's the story.
Well, yes, sometimes life is like that, right? You see something in front of you, you gotta go for it, and that's what I did, and I am like that in life. I see opportunities and I go and I grab it if I can, but I think we have to be that way. I think the same as our team. We have a great opportunity in front of us, and we gotta go and try to grab it.
You were an assistant in the NBA. Wasn't the plan to start in the NBA as a head coach?
I didn't have a clear plan. It was just like going season by season, getting better, learn how to scout a game, learn how to communicate with players, understand the game better, understand the options in the game. And I was a good time there as an assistant. Now it changes. I have to take all the decisions and lead a team, lead a locker room, lead a staff. A lot of things that, a lot of decisions you gotta make every day.
Do you see your time in Paris as a stepping stone for come back as an NBA coach in a few years, however long it may take?
I don't see it that way. Some people have asked me that before. I always see this season. That's my focus. I'm not thinking about the future. Why not stay here for a long time and build something beautiful in Paris, right? This season is important for the team, for me, for this young group of players that have accomplished so much in the last 2 years, and they want to keep accomplishing.
What did you learn as an NBA assistant coach during those 5 years?
I learned a lot. Because when you play the game, you see the game from within. You see the game with your teammates. You see what you see in the court. But as a coach or assistant coach, you got to see it as a macro, right? You got to see it from outside, and you see how the players develop and how the defense develops. And then you understand why coaches told you to do certain things and how they put defenses together, how they put offensive sets together. That's what I learned. And I'm a pretty ambitious guy and a fast learner, I think. To be honest, that was my passion after I retired. I retired super early at basketball at 31, and I want to be involved in this game and learn every day and get better every day and lead better, talk better, be in front of a group and talk and lead them up. That's my obsession today.
So there was a point where you thought, that's why your coach asked me that.
Of course, it was a long time ago, but you when you stop playing and then you start coach, you have a lot of knowledge. You understand the game, but you don't know how to teach or why certain things are the way they are. So, first you understand why, and then, and how can I teach? How can I show this to my players and make them better players or a better basketball team? So those are the things you learn when you retire.
Is this how you see yourself as a coach, as a teacher?
Yeah, I think a coach is a teacher. I think that's what it is. He's a leader, he's a teacher, he's a mental health coach sometimes, and it's part of being a basketball coach.
Obviously the best teacher in the world is Gregg Popovich. That's the image you have of a coach?
Yeah, for me, he's the GOAT. How he manages groups, how he manages games, how he manages losses and wins. He always say, stay humble on victory. Get better on losses, get better on wins. Don't get satisfied, always get better. So winners, as he said, they are always worried about getting better. Doesn't matter the result of the game. You got to be worried about getting better every day.
What do you want to replicate from Gregg Popovich? Everything?
I'm not saying he's perfect. We have our stuff, but
That's what I want to know. I want to know the flows.
I mean, he was great to me. You know, he was the head coach of the prime of my career, the peak of my career, and he's still, you know, like a grandfather to me. You know, an old guy that I can call and with a lot of wisdom, and not just in basketball but in life. You know, family stuff. I don't know. Every part of life you always have something, right? Like culture, or if you want to choose a good wine, you have a great recommendation as well. So Pop has taught me a lot.
So it seems to me that you already know what kind of coach you are or you want to be.
We are never gonna be the same as Pop, right? I try to take some stuff from him. Everybody, I think, have different personalities. There's great coaches that Coach Ivanovic taught me, or Coach Mayano in the national team, or Asa Petrovic lately in the national team. So you try to take a little bit of everyone, put it together like your own puzzle, and be the best coach you can be. That's what I aim for.
Did you learn something different in the NBA and as an assistant coach for Brazil?
Yes. You learn different things. The game is different. The way you treat players are different, and players are different. I learned that with the time. You know, that everyone has a different personality, and how to push those different personalities to play better.
You spent quite a few seasons with French teammates.
Yes.
Do you know how many games you play with each of the French now?
No, I don't. I guess you have the number of them.
Yeah, I do. You played 333 games with Tony Parker, 256 with Boris Dio, 89 with Nando De Colo, which we play against in the EuroLeague, and 8 with Timothée Luau-Cabarro. So I guess my question is, what's French about you?
What's French about me? I'll tell this. Of course, TP and Boris were the two that influenced most my career, right? Like we were at the highest level, and TP helped me adapt to the American basketball. He came also from Europe. He knew where I was coming from, so he respected me. It wasn't like a guy that never, you know, didn't know who I was. So he knew I had some history in the European basketball, and he respected that. So that was awesome from the beginning from him. Not just him, but Manu and the other guys there. But TP, you know, since we're talking about French, and Boris is a big friend of mine. We talk almost every week. Boris is a very interesting guy to be around. Very smart. Loves photography, philosophy, astrology, you name it. That guy knows about coffee, wine, you name it, food. We would go to a restaurant, he just ordered a whole menu. And let's try that. But, you know, he told me about Bordeaux wine, and I became, is my favorite wine. So Boris is such an interesting guy to be around and learn basketball too, because he was very smart in the basketball court.
Did you call any of them before signing for Paris?
I called after, and TP was like, I didn't know you want to be a coach in Europe. They both congratulated me. Both were very happy for me, and you know, also TLC texted me. So it was great to you know, hear from them.
Let's talk about Paris. 10 players stayed from last season, 5 newcomers, and you, obviously. How do you build the chemistry of the team without maybe disrupting what went well last year?
Yeah, that's our challenge. That's my challenge. I would be stupid if I come here and change the whole thing, you know. These guys are used to play a certain way. These guys are used to play certain offense and defense. And we're going to keep a lot of those things. We're not going to change much. And now we got to adapt, you know, our coaching staff and the new players to this to this type of play. It's still in process. I'll not say it's done. We still got to figure out a lot of things, but we are getting better every day.
So when you talk about the challenge, you say it's a tough one.
I'm saying that you gotta get everyone in the same page, play the same way, and when they have this unique way to play, which is very different than a lot of teams. If you guys watch it, just the substitution pattern, it's kind of like different. Players get subbed, sometimes 3, 4, 5 players in the same play, and just the intensity that they bring. They play at the highest, they're supposed to be tired, they're gonna leave everything in the court, and that's the culture that we wanna keep building.
This way of playing, is your job to convince the newcomers to adapt to this specific way of play?
I'm not too convinced. My job is to make them comfortable with that. My job is to make and show them this is how it works, and this is how it worked for this team in the past, and this is how we're going to do in the future.
Don't you want the team to play the way you want?
I had that question before, right? And in the end of the day, the guy that is playing here in this basketball court is a player, not the coach. And everybody is different, and every player is different. And now they always ask me, well, what's your way of coaching? My way of coaching is the way the player is going to take the best out of him. So if a guy is a shooter, I'm not going to make him post. If the guy is a post, I'm not going to make him shoot 3 points. So it goes the same way, in other parts of the game. So they're used to play one way. They're doing great in one way they're playing. Why would it change, right? Now we got to bring the new guys and do the same thing.
First time in EuroLeague for Paris, first time as a head coach for you, first time in the EuroLeague for 11 players. How do you turn what seems to be a weakness into a strength?
Well, I think the weakness is a little, we are inexperienced in EuroLeague. We are young. We probably also the smallest, one of the smallest teams in the EuroLeague, but we have to use that as our strength. How? Well, we're young, we can run, we can be fast in the court, we gotta use our speed and annoy people. People should hate us. That's what I tell them.
That's the way of thinking of Paris this season. We're gonna annoy the rest of the EuroLeague.
We have to do that. We have to do that. That's the only way.
You, as a player, you last played in the EuroLeague 14 years ago.
You make me feel old now.
How do you feel is the main difference between then and now?
I think the game changed a little bit, but not just in EuroLeague, in the whole world, right? Like back when I played in EuroLeague or in the NBA, usually we had 2 bigs dominating the paint, battling, fighting, pushing each other. Now the game is you have at least 4 guys open in the 3-point line, 4 guys that can shoot the basketball. And the game is faster, the pace is faster. But still a very strategic game, still a very thinking game, but faster. You just gotta think faster. And that's why it's hard. And the amount of games is bigger as well. Back then when I played in EuroLeague, it was 1 game per week, EuroLeague, not 2 like we have now. So it demands way more from their bodies. Right?
Am I wrong to say when you first saw the EuroLeague schedule, you looked at what would be the game in Vitoria, in Baskonia? When would it be?
Yeah, it's 27th of December.
Oh, you know?
I know.
Is it your Christmas present?
Well, it's going to be a special game. Arena where I played a lot of games, arena where I have a lot of love from people. Very special place in my career where I grow up as a person and player. Yeah, I have mixed feelings, you have that feeling of, okay, I like this place, but also, okay, I want to beat them, and win over there. And that's part of sports. It happens all the time. You got to be a professional and do your job and prepare the team the best way you can, of course. No doubt about it. But But it's going to be interesting feelings over there.
And finally, what will be a successful season for Paris?
Yeah, I got that question all the time. I think we still don't know. I think we still gotta figure it out, like measure ourselves against. We just had one EuroLeague preseason game against Partizan, where we lost in the last possession over there in Belgrade. But we still gotta measure ourselves better and know what type of team we have, how we're gonna compete, and on a basically every night. And it's tough to say, but maybe in the half of the season I can give you a better answer.
Thank you, and see you in the half of the season.
Thank you.
For the same question.
All right.